Hey everybody, this is Jason Malham with Mastery Life Training, the training you need for the life you want. We're continuing in this, the third video in a 7-part video series entitled Taking Control of Your Life. In the last video, we talked about the first of 6 mental faculties, that being perception, the power of perception to change your life. In this video series, we're talking about, in this particular video, we're talking about the second mental faculty, and that is the human will. The human will. I've got to begin by telling you that the human will is absolutely powerful. It is so powerful that we even talk about it in that way. We call it willpower. That's because the will has the power, the conscious mind has the power to control any area of your life. It has the power to control your behavior. It has the power to enable you to do the things that you know you need to do, the things that you want to do. It has the power to help you abstain from things that you don't want to do, things that you know are self-destructive. The human will is powerful. It can help you to end addictions. It can help you stay on task at work. It can enhance, improve, completely reform your relationships. It can help you see a goal through all the way till its completion. The human will can do everything that you want it to do in your life. Now, I know that there are many ways that you can strengthen your will. We could talk about religion from that standpoint. We could talk about a lot of different things. But no matter what it is that enables you to have the power to do what you want to do, it still will come down to your will. These things can strengthen your will, but it's going to come down to your will to give you the power to do what you know you need to do in life, or to avoid the things that you want to avoid in life. Now, why is this so important? And if the will is so powerful, then why aren't people accomplishing and achieving more? Well, as we talked about in the first video, and if you haven't watched these in order, I certainly encourage you to. But in the first video, we discussed how most people live from the outside in. They are governed, their actions, their behavior, their results in life are governed from the outside in, governed by the 5 senses. We take in our information by sight, smell, and tasting, and touching, and hearing, the 5 senses. And most people go throughout the day, whatever they hear might discourage them, and it affects their emotions throughout the day. If they hear that the market is terrible and you can't do this kind of business or you can't be successful, well, then that's going to affect the way they think and what they achieve. They respond all day long. They are reactive instead of proactive. I encourage you to watch the video blog, the video post that I did on being proactive in life and taking charge in life. But most people are just responding and reacting all day long. They're not using their God-given faculties to take control of their decision and their circumstances and their behavior throughout the day, and that is the difference. That is why many people do not succeed, and why it seems an elite few actually do. Now let me give you a physical example of this, because I also contend that the human will is powerful enough to triumph over pain and sickness. But even if you don't believe that, this example will give you some insight as to the power of the human will. In the fall of last year, I was at a Tony Robbins conference. I really respect what Tony Robbins does. I was at one of his conferences. I flew out to San Jose, California. It was July or August. And you might have seen something in the news about this particular conference, because there is a news blast about it all over the country, all over the world, that 21 or 22 people had burned their feet participating in Tony Robbins' fire walk at this conference. Did you see that in the news? Well, I was one of those people at the conference who did the fire walk. Now, I paid a lot of money to be out there for that particular weekend. And a lot of it was I wanted to do the fire walk. Now, I did the fire walk, and I was not one of the 20-some-odd people that got burned doing it. I came away from the firewalk completely unscathed. I did not suffer pain. I did not suffer any kind of injury to my feet. What is the idea of the firewalk? How does it work? Well, if you haven't looked into it, you're walking across hot burning coals. And the coals, the temperature of the coals, range from 1200 to something like 1700 degrees, which, to put it in perspective, I read is 4 times hotter than the average stovetop in your kitchen. Now here's what happens in the firewalk. When you're doing the firewalk, as you get toward the front of the line, you can actually smell the smoke from the burning coals. You can see the smoke rising from the coals. You can see the color red from the coals burning so hot. You can hear the buzz of all the people in various lines, because there are many lines to the firewalk. You can hear them buzzing in anticipation and excitement, and some people in dread. But you start to get all of this through what? Through your 5 senses. You smell it, you're seeing it, you're hearing it. And here's the thing about the firewalk. If you cannot close out what's coming from the outside in and just focus from the inside out, if you cannot take your human mental faculties and focus on the goal, your end result, focus on what you're controlling your body to feel instead of just letting it feel whatever you're letting the outside circumstances convince you to feel, you will not be able to do the firewalk. If you are governed by your senses, living from the outside in, you will not do the walk. You'll back out at the last second, or if you do, you'll get burned. So the power of the firewalk is to encourage you to learn how to take your mental faculties and take control over what your body feels, over what you do, over where your focus is, and finish the walk and come away unscathed. It's a powerful, powerful experience, but it's also a wonderful illustration of the power of the human mind to overcome any kind of adversity and stay focused on a goal. So what are we talking about? How do you develop it? When we talk about the will, what is it exactly? The human will is the ability to hold an image on the screen of your mind consistently and constantly enough to actually realize it and to see its fulfillment. Will, in short, is focus. It is intense focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to achieve. And so it begs the question, how intensely can you focus and stay focused on the image or on the income that you want to achieve, on the revenue you want to see in your company, on the number of new clients you want to acquire this month or this quarter or this year? How intently can you stay focused on the relationships that you want and what they look like, on the tournament that you're trying to win, on the weight that you want to be, or the other physical, the other elements of physical conditioning that you want to experience in life? How intently can you stay focused on these things, not just over a quarter's time, not just over a month, but throughout this day? How constantly will you hold an image of that goal in your mind? If you can hold it constantly, that is the power of the human will to achieve anything you want to achieve in life. So let me close with a few mastery ideas for you. Number 1, practice meditation. If you're a complete newbie to meditation, then just come into it slowly. For 5 minutes, just try 5 minutes in a very quiet, preferably darker room. Meditate on one result that you want to experience in your life. One result in one area of your life. Hold an image in your mind of that result. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What are you doing? How does it feel? And hold that image, those emotions and those feelings and those sounds associated with it, those visions associated with it, for 5 solid straight minutes. If your mind wanders, bring it back quickly and refocus. And practice doing that for 5 minutes, meditating on a result that you want in your life. A second mastery idea is to practice physically the art of focus. You can do that by simply sitting somewhere and focusing on something tiny on the wall across from you. It might be the screw head of the faceplate of your light switch. It can be anything that you want it to be. Focus on some small part of a painting that's right across from you on the wall. You might actually just pencil in a little dot on the wall. It's fine, it'll come right off. Focus for 5 minutes physically on that dot. Not thinking about anything, just focus on the dot. When your mind wants to wander, bring it back. When your eyes want to wander, bring it back. It just develops the habit of being able to stay focused, and it will have incredible impact on your life in the coming days. A third thing I want to recommend to you is that you carry with you some physical device that keeps you focused on your goal. I recommend a goal card. In fact, let's see if I can get mine out of my pocket without dying. So here's my goal card that I carry around with me. It's in my pocket at all times. If I even feel it in my pocket, it re-energizes me and refocuses me on my goal. I want to encourage you to go to the blog post entitled Goal Setting, the Basics, for more of a discussion on that. But those are 3 great ideas that you can follow in order that you might develop the power of the human willpower. This has been the 3rd video in this video series, Taking Control of Your Life. I'm Jason Malham with Mastery Life Training, the training you need for the life you want, and I'll talk to you soon.